Is what? Right. Okay. It's, it, right. I would say, it's more than good luck because morning. It's the Torah says what you need to do. It's not a question of luck. Maybe in the business world, the person goes ahead and goes into a certain business and has certain mazdal with a business, or a businessman buys a certain stock. This one goes up, that doesn't go up. So they're both great stocks, but that's what Hashem gave you. That this one, this bracha, this person didn't get that bracha. But when it comes to doing mitzvot, it's not luck. It's not mazal. I mean, no such thing as. I mean, it's based on your choices, and of course, Hashem should give everyone the opportunity to do mitzvot. Okay, we are on 35A1. Lamed Hey Yom Aleph. 35A1. Okay, what we said last time is the Gemara was looking for a pasuk, or not. I wanted to know. The Torah says Pri Eitz Hadah. Pri Eitz Hadah means, we all know. The Torah says L'kachtem lochem bayom harishon. You take for yourself on the first day of a holiday. You take for yourself an etrog. But the Torah didn't write the word etrog. Good morning, Ralph. The Torah didn't write the word etrog. Hopefully, by the way, by the time we finish this Masechta, everyone's going to have a much greater appreciation for the etrog and love. When you talk about something, you learn about something, you connect more with it and you appreciate it more. We hope next Sukkot will have much more understanding of the four minim, of the four species, and much more appreciation. So, and not only that, we spent a lot of time on the walls of the sukkah, the schach of the sukkah. We spent a lot of time early in the Masechta, the structure of the sukkah. Now we're focusing on the four arba minim of the lulav, etrog, atas, and ravot. Those are two different biblical mitzvot regarding the holiday of Sukkah. The mitzvah of building of Sukkah, how to make a kosher Sukkah, and now also we're focusing on the four species that you need to take during the holiday of Sukkot. Correct, Ralph? Okay. Ralph is going to be planting some esrog trees in his backyard. Okay. With the hadassim and the aravot and the lulav. Okay. Tana Rabbanan. Create back to the top of the page of top of the page 35A1. Tana Rabbanan create Hadah. We said it says pre-Eitz Hadah. Doesn't say pre-Hadar. Why does it emphasize the fruit? The fruit of why does it mention the word eitz? By mentioning the word pre-Eitz Hadar, it's indicating to us that we're talking about a fruit that's unique. That the taste of the fruit and the taste of the branch, the eitz that the fruit grew on, have the same taste, and that's unique. That's unique to Esrog. It's not like other fruits. Let's say a lemon. A lemon, the outside peel of the lemon is very thin. It's a thin peel, and most of the fruit of the lemon is on inside the lemon. That's how a lemon. That's the story with the lemon. The fruit is most of the fruit. When you go to the inside of a lemon. Good morning, Mark. Good to see you.
Good morning, Rabbi.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
We're contrasting the lemon to the etrog. A lemon, if you look at a lemon, the outside of the lemon, the peel of the lemon is thin, and the inside of the lemon is most of the fruit is the inside. You take a lemon, the fruit is the inside of the lemon. Like you take an orange. An orange, you have the peel of the orange. You take off the peel of the orange, you have the whole thing is fruit, pretty much. Now we're not talking now. Now we're talking about lemon. Let's say you go ahead now in a lemon, you go ahead and you take right inside the peel, let's say the natural peel, not the heavy hard peel like you have of an orange, but the natural peel. If you remove that peel, you're already getting into the juice. You're already getting into the fruit itself. But the etrog, the outside peel is there's a white peel of the etrog. If you open up the inside of an etrog, that white peel takes up the thickness of that peel, takes up large amount of the fruit. And then after you have that white peel, then you have the fruit of the etrog. And the and the the cleep of the etrog, the peel of the etrog, that white part of the etrog, which is the main part of the fruit, and its fruit and its wood that it grows on, they have the same taste. Good morning, Jaime. Good to see you back.
Good morning, Rabbi. Thank you.
Morning. We are on 35A1. Now, so over there, to the lemon, even though if you go ahead and you look at take a lemon and the peel of the lemon, the outer peel of the peel of the lemon and the wood of the tree have the similar taste. We're saying there's something unique about the etrog, is that the fruit of the etrog and the tree that it grows on, the branch that it grows on, has the same taste. If you go ahead and you chew on the branch that the etrog grew on, will be the same taste of the branch, will be the same taste as the etrog itself. So, see, he says that the lemon, even though the shell, the inside of the shell, you have the shell of the lemon and you have the inside fruit of the lemon, even though the shell of the lemon and the tree where it grows on, the branch, have the same taste, but since the shell of the lemon is not, let's say that the shell of the lemon is not the main fruit. The main fruit is underneath that shell of the lemon. So therefore, you cannot say that it's called equal in taste. The equal in taste here, we're talking about the fruit itself. So the fruit of the etrog, the main part of the etrog is that white inside of the etrog. So that white inside of the etrog is similar to the taste like the tree itself, meaning which is considered the fruit of the etrog. The fruit of the etrog is not just the seeds of it; it's mainly out on top of the seeds. The seeds is a very minority part of the etrog. Rather, you have right outside above the seeds, that part which is considered the main part of the etrog tastes like the tree itself. However, when it comes to the lemon, the actual fruit itself does not taste like the tree. It's only the peel that tastes like the tree. So therefore, that's why the etrog is unique. That the fruit of the etrog, the main part that you're eating of the etrog, which is the fruit of the etrog, that tastes like the tree. So that's unique. The fruit and the tree are the same. And I wonder if you want to say b'derech drush, in a way of expounding on it, you have the fruit and the tree where it grows from, maybe like a father and a son, parents and children. There's the fruit, and then there's the tree where it came from. The question is, are the children like the dad and the mom? Are the children growing up the way, are they following in the footsteps of the parents? Do they have the same taste of the parents or not? So maybe that's a symbolism of the etrog, that we take the etrog. Hashem says, I want you to take a fruit that the product tastes just like where it came from. How do you like that, Jaime? And that's an original thought that just came to the world right now. So that's maybe that's an idea unique, that the fruit and the branch have the same taste, and that's you're coming off of the holiday of Yom Kippur, where we reach a certain level, got to stay focused on the children and on making sure that the next generation is following the steps and have the same taste. Not like we see a lot of times we see that the new generation is doing their own thing and they don't have the same taste and the same flavor as the previous generation, and they don't have the same values as the previous generation. So that's perhaps an idea of pre-Eitz Hadat, that the taste of the wood and the taste of the fruit are the same. So the Gemara says that's an etrog. So the Gemara says the aim of palpulin. Palpulin are the peppercorns, the small peppercorns that they also have the same, these little things that grow. You grind these peppercorns and you make it into the pepper. These are not peppers it's not referring to the peppers that we eat. You buy the red, green, yellow peppers. It's talking about these little small peppercorn, they call it peppercorns, that they're like seeds, and you grind them up to make pepper. So they also have the same taste of the branch that they come from. So where do we see how do you say that the pasuk, the verse, is referring to etrog, because etrog has this unique quality, because the pasuk emphasizes pre-Eitz, that the fruit and the tree are the same. I have something else that also has the fruit and the tree are the same. I have a peppercorn. So maybe the mitzvah, maybe the pasuk is referring to a peppercorn. Where do you see in the verse that it's referring more to an etrog than a peppercorn? That's what the Gemara says. That's what the Gemara, the aim of pilpulin. Maybe the pasuk is referring to these peppers, because the Tanya, we learned in Braita, we find this phenomenon that these peppercorns, they taste exactly like the wood that it grew from, the branch that it grew from. Rameya Omer. Rameya says, the Torah talks about if you plant any tree that you plant, the first 3 years, the fruit of the plant, of the tree, are forbidden for benefit. You can't eat it. You can't have any benefit from it. The Torah says, and this applies both in Israel and outside of Israel. You plant a tree, the first 3 years, the Torah says, at perio, its fruit, 3 years, you cannot eat it. And we also learn out that you cannot have any benefit from this. You can't sell the fruit of this tree. Right. Ralph is pointing out a great point. Ralph says, Rabbi, I don't know if it has fruit the first year you plant the tree. So the Sefer Chinuch said, he suggests that the first few years of a tree, that the fruit is not so good, not so strong. He even suggests it's not even healthy. And he suggests maybe that's why perhaps he suggests, again, the Torah doesn't say a reason why you can't eat the fruit of a tree the first 3 years, but he suggests it's not healthy from a healthy perspective. It takes a little time for it, after a few years that a tree is in this world, that it grew, it matures properly. With maturity comes good taste, right? And therefore, you have to wait 3 years. That's what he suggests. Now, that could be the reason, it could be not the reason, but the fact is, like Ralph says, generally the trees in the beginning, they don't grow too well. It takes time for fruit to come off that tree, proper fruit. So that's what the Gemara. And by the way, that's one of the reasons, there's something called an upsharing. That they give a haircut at 3 years. It's very common. The first haircut they give is at the first 3 years. When a child is 3 years old, very common in Meron. By Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, they unlock ba'omer, they cut the hair. That's at 3. That's also connected to this idea that the first 3 years you don't use it. You don't benefit from the fruit. So that a child is considered like a fruit, right? It's a fruit. It's a product of the parents and that child. So the first 3 years, similarly, they don't cut the hair. There's some connection to the same way you don't use the fruit, you don't cut the hair, and only then afterwards, now you start cutting. They cut the hair. So the Gemara says we are on 35A1 in the middle paragraph on first column. So it says Natatim kol eitz. It says you plant any tree. It says you can't eat from the fruit. So why does the Torah have to say the word kol? You planted kol eitz machal, a tree of food, a food tree. There are certain trees that are not food trees, right? That's just beautiful trees that don't give off any food trees. So why does the Torah say you planted a tree for food? If the end of the pasuk it says don't eat the fruit, so it's obvious it's a tree of food. So you don't have to tell me a food tree. You don't have to say the word machal. You see, it's amazing how the Torah, the Gemara is analyzing. There's no extra letter, no extra word in the Torah. So you don't need to tell me the word food since you're going to tell me about it a moment later, since you can figure out we're talking about a fruit tree. I don't have to tell you it's a food tree if I tell you later on, don't eat the fruit. So why emphasize it's a eitz machal, it's a food tree. So the Gemara says, Matam eitz machal, because it's telling you it has something unique. Eitz, it's a tree, shetam eitzo pirio shaveh. It's a tree that the taste of the wood and the taste of the fruit, eitz machal, that the tree tastes just like the fruit of the tree. Havi omer, and what is that? Havi omer ze pilpulin. That is pilpulin. These peppercorns, they have this pepper tree. They taste just like the wood that it comes from. Lamdecha, this teaches you, shapilpulin chayovim ba'orla, that even these pepper trees are also subject to the law of orla. They're subject to the law of orla, and obviously there's a reason why you might have thought that it should not be subject to orla. So one of the commentators explained, because the obvious question is, what do you need a special verse to tell me that these peppercorns are obligated in the law of orla? Why is it different than any tree? Why do you need a special? You don't have to tell me a special law that an apple tree and an orange tree is subject to orla, or a date tree. Why do you need a special teaching to tell you that the peppercorns is obligated in this law of orla? Because since it's a low tree, it's not too high, you might have thought it's a vegetable. Vegetables are not subject to the laws of orla. The first 3 years that you plant a vegetable, you could go ahead and eat from the fruit. Therefore, we need to teach us that it has the status of a tree and it's subject to orla. That is one explanation of why we need this teaching. But at the end of the day, the teaching stands. The teaching is that the peppercorns have the fruit have the same taste as the wood that it came from. And the Gemara says, Lamdecha, and there's another teaching. We have another teaching that Ein Eretz Yisrael Chaser Klum. The Holy Land is not missing anything. The Holy Land, when the Torah says, when Moshe Rabbeinu says you're going to come to the land of Israel, and it's a land that you're not missing anything. It has, morning Akiva. The stones are iron, the pasuk says, and you can have copper from its mountains. So the Torah was talking about it's not missing. Now the question is, what is it referring to when you say it's not missing anything? Even this, it's not missing. You could even plant this, and you'll plant these. These will also be planted in Eretz Yisrael. That's also part of the thing. Israel's not missing anything. It has also these type of peppercorn. So now that we said that the peppercorns have this unique character trait that it tastes like the branch that it comes from. So where do we see that it means etrog more than? How do we know that pre-Eitz Hadar? So we found two items that the fruit tastes like the tree. So where do we see that it means etrog more than it means peppercorn? So the Gemara says because it can't be peppercorns. When the Torah says by Sukkot, I want you to take pre-Eitz Hadar, it can't be. We should look up what a peppercorn looks like. These small little, like a little ball, small little thing. What? Maybe, so look what the Gemara says. Hatam, the Gemara says, the lo efsha. It's not possible to use a peppercorn on, it can't be that's what the Torah is telling you on Sukkot when it says to take a pre-Eitz Hadar. Why not? Because the Gemara says, Kates and Nazir, should we take one peppercorn? Well, we know one peppercorn is very small. And we said earlier, there's a certain size for an etrog. Well, the Torah says, also the Torah says, L'kachtem, you have to take it. It's not so recognizable you're taking something. You take a little something, did you really take something? It's so very insignificant, and Mark says, small little round ball. What do you really take? Took a marble, or you took something, took a marble, you really took something. And also, we know the etrog has a certain size. So now what are you going to tell me? Nintgo treyo tlata. Maybe you're going to tell me, take 2 or 3 of these peppercorns. And now you really took something. You got 2 or 3. You got something of significance. But the Torah says you take 1 etrog. It doesn't say peirot. It says it's 1. Pri echad amrachmana. The Torah says you're taking 1. Velosh nayim mishlosha peirot. You don't take 2 or 3. So because you take 1, so therefore it can't be that you're taking the peppercorn. Because if you just take 1, it's too small. And if you take more than 1, then it's multiple fruit. And the Torah says you take 1 fruit. So therefore, hilkach lo efsha. Therefore, it can't be a peppercorn. So therefore, it has to be, when the Torah says pri hadar, it has to be, it's talking about an etrog. Rebbe Omer. Now again, we said early yesterday that there's no question on Sukkot you have to take an etrog. There's no question. That's what we've been doing since the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. We've been taking etrog from generation to generation. We just want to see, and that's because Moshe Rabbeinu said, when he gave the Torah, he said, Pri Hadar. When the Torah says take a it means an etrog. But the Gemara is just looking for where can we see it in the verse itself? Can we see it alluded to in the verse itself? Even though the verse is very vague, because the Torah just says take a beautiful fruit. It doesn't say etrog. But that's to be able to figure out by the fact that the fruit that the tree ate, that the fruit tastes like the tree, so we can figure out that it's an etrog as well from the verse itself. Rebbe Omer, Rebbe says, we are now on 35A1 on the right column. Rebbe Omer, Al Tikri Hadar, Ela Hadir. We could also see it's alluded to in the pasuk, because the word Hadar also, if you read it, there are no vowels in the Torah. The Torah was not given with vowels. And by the fact that it was not given with vowels, part of it is because Hashem wanted to allude a lot of things in the words. There's a lot of things you could read into the words, depending how you value it, you punctualize the verse. So the word Hadar is Hey Dalid Resh. But if you want, you could read it Hadir. Hadir, it's another, Hadir could also be read into the word Hadar, very similar word. If you read it that way, what is Hadir? Hadir is a pen that you keep animals, all different types of animals. You have large animals, small animals. So Ma'adir Zeh, a pen which you keep animals, Yesh Bo Gedolim Ktanim, has all different types of animals. It has large animals and small animals and Tamimim, animals that are whole and complete and proper animals, well animals, and also Bale Mumim. A pen has an animals that have blemish, that are not so complete. Hachinami. So too, when the Torah talks about a fruit that you need to take, it's a type of fruit. Yeshbo, it's talking about a tree that has fruits that are gedolim, tanim, large and small, tamimim, balim, mumim, whole ones and not good ones. And that's the etrog. And the word obviously can ask, what do you mean? Why is that unique to etrog? All trees have this concept. There's large and there's small, and there's all different types of, we have etrogim that are nice, etrogim that grow not nice. They don't show up in the market, but there's all this blemish. So what's unique? Where do we see that what does it do in etrog more than any? That's what the Gemara is going to jump in a moment. Therefore, the Gemara is going to need to explain what it be meant. The Gemara took it at face value, and the Gemara is going to challenge. How could he say that? Doesn't seem to make too much. What does that mean? So that's why the Gemara shoots back. What do you mean? You're telling me it means etrog because etrog has large and small. Etrogim grow on the tree, and there's blemish navas atu shari lani letbu pere. The other trees don't have this phenomenon of other trees don't have gedolim tanim trimim balimumim. Other trees don't have this idea. Good morning. That they have all different types of fruits. And an orange tree has large oranges, small oranges, and has blemish. So the Gemara says this. You didn't understand what he meant. Sometimes a rabbi would say something, and you take it, you translate it face value, and it doesn't make sense. That's what the Gemara said. You didn't understand what he meant. This is what the rabbi meant. There's something very unique about the etrog. What's very unique about the etrog? If you have a tree, an etrog tree, it's already 2 years old, 3 years old. The etrog already grew for 2-3 years. Let's say the etrog be an old tree, but the etrog, the new crop just came. The new etrog grew. It's already etrog. It stays on the tree for 2-3 years without falling off. Most fruits don't stay on for 2-3 years. After a year, it falls off, it rots, if it stays too long, it doesn't stay up. But the etrog remains on the tree 2-3 years. So when you plant when a new tree, a new etrogim are growing, new young etrogim are growing, the old ones are still there. There's gedolim and there's kanim. The old etrogim and the young, and that's unique about an etrog. And therefore, it's like a deer. It's like a pen that has the big ones, the big animals, the small animals, and that's unique about etrog. And it's the same theme, similar. I wanted to say to that's what. Why is that? What's that phenomenon? Why did Hashem want to take such a fruit that has the old and the young? And it's the same idea, and a similar twist, because we're coming off of Yom Kippur. You reach the high level of repentance, but how do you remain on the high level? You reach a high level. So I want to suggest, perhaps, the way to remain on a high level coming off Yom Kippur. Think of the etrog. There's a young and old together. When the young tree is growing, the old tree is still there. The young generation, another idea of connecting with the old generation. The new generation, if they run their things on their own and they don't look at the experience of the old generation, they're going to be lost. They're not going to make it. You have to have the young and the old together. And that's another theme. And that's how you're going to remain strong. The fruit of Israel, fruit of a person is called the eighth. You compared to a tree, where fruit has to be, you have to have the gedolim. Therefore, when communities open, and there's only young people in a community, and there's no older people, they're missing out. They're missing something. They need to see great people of experience. That's my humble opinion. And of course, they have to have leaders. They should bring in great rabbis, great chacham of age, of experience to be those leaders for the people. So that's what the Gemara says. That's unique. Elahachikama ad sheboim ketanim. When the young etrog, new etrog fruit is growing, adayin gedolim kayamim. The old ones are still there on the tree, and also it remains on the tree. It doesn't fall. Now look, we'll see another idea in a moment. Okay, that's the idea of uniqueness of the etrog. Everyone knows a gedolim. What's a gedolim? Gedolim are the great rabbis. A gedolim. Here the Gemara uses the same word, gedolim, referring to the big etrogim, the old etrogim. I say that's referring to the rabbis, people who are great people. You should know in this week's parasha, in Shemot, it says about Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayigdal Moshe, Vayigdal gedolim, became a gadol. He became great. So the Medrash says, what does it mean? What is the greatness of Moshe? How did he become a great? Vayitze Elecha. He went out to his brothers. The pasuk says Vayigdal Moshe twice. Once he became a mature adult, that's the first, you grow up. The second Vayigdal, why does it repeat itself, Vayigdal, twice? It tells us he became a great person. What makes a person a great person, right, Adam? What makes a person great? You know what makes a person great? The Medrash says, the pasuk says, "Vayigdal Moshe vayetze elachav." When you go out to your brothers, you care about your fellow Jews. That's greatness, man. Is that beautiful? Jaime, beautiful? Ralph?
I love it. I love it, Rabbi. Beautiful.
Is that a beautiful Medrash? Mr. Haber, right? That's greatness. People think, you want to be, the person, you want to know what you want to define greatness? Who's great? Who's great in this world? People are caring about other people. And I'm told that today's culture out there in this world, it's all about you. It's not about helping other people, by the way, in the secular culture. It's all about the self-actualization. It's all about you, yourself, self-focus. That's what the society is pushing. They tell people, my guys tell me, they're telling you, don't focus on getting married, family. Think about yourself. Think about your career. What do you think about family? This is the mentality. This is what they're being fed poison. The children and the youth today are being fed poison. This mentality of the world. You hear that, Ralph? Thank God you don't know about these things. But this is what the young generation is telling me what's going on. And Adam is shaking his head. This is what he's saying. He's in that new generation, and that's what's happening. It's crazy. It's crazy. Forgive me if I'm being a little bit. But that's what I tell Mark. You hear me? Okay, Rabbi Voama. And this is what I tell the students. You got to, don't buy into all this nonsense. I had a student of mine in Queens College that once said, Rabbi, why should I get married and take responsibility? I said, wow, this is what you're thinking. This is what you're taught. How does a Jewish boy say, how can I get married? Why should I get married and take responsibility? You're questioning that's what you hear in this world, to take responsibility. Be a man. But it's unbelievable that this is that they're being fed. Okay. Morning, Rabbi Mansour. Rabbi says, Al Tikri Hadar. Don't read it Hadar, creates Hadar. That's the way, that's how we read it. But like we said, the Torah has no vowels. Yes, the vowels are given by Moshe. Hashem told Moshe how to read it, but by leaving it, you look at a Sefer Torah, you many ways to read it if you don't know how to read it properly, by that, because it's open to give many other ideas and interpretations to teach us certain lessons. Al Tikri Hadar, Ella, rather Hador, like a dira, like you're renting a like apartment that lives. It means what? Davar Shedam Milono Meshana Lashon. That lives in the tree from year to year. Creates, what is the fruit that you need to take? A create Hadar. Not Hadar, not beautiful, but Hadar. Ha with a patach, with the ah sound instead of the ah sound. Hadar, that lives on the tree. What is the fruit that lives on the tree from year to year? All other fruits fall down. Which fruit stays up? The etrog. It remains 2-3 years on the tree. So that's the fruit that Hashem wants you to take on Sukkot. And the same theme I said before. You're coming off of Yom Kippur and you reach high levels. It's very easy to fall back down. Look at the etrog. The etrog stays up. It doesn't come down. It stays on the tree from year to year. You need to remain on that level. You reach that level on Yom Kippur, stay there. That's the idea, by the way. Some commentators explain why the Sukkot follow Yom Kippur. Holiday after holiday after holiday. What's going on? You just had holiday, Rabbi. You just had a holiday. You have another holiday. You had Rosh Hashanah. You have Yom Kippur. Then you have Sukkot. What's going on? So one idea I saw is a beautiful idea, because Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is about reaching that high level, right? You do repentance, you fast, and everything. But now the question is, Moni Ariel, how do you remain on that level? You reached it. You got it. You won. You lost all that weight. Whatever it was. But the key, a guy goes on a diet and he loses all the weight. But the question, how do you remain on that level? You lost the weight. You reach that level. So that's what Sukkah is about. Sukkot is about, you go into a Sukkah, you recognize, you remember that the world is temporary. You go to a temporary place. that idea of Sukkot is gonna go ahead, and you have the Succah, it reminds you about Hashem, that's gonna go ahead and keep you strong for the rest of the year. I want to wish everyone a great day and a fascinating Gemara that we had here today, everybody. Time flies when you're having fun. All the best, everybody. Mark is looking at his watch. Why, it's over already? What's going on? Yeah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you very much, Jaime. All the best. Have a good day, everybody. I think because the child is like a fruit. It's like it's your fruit. The same way you don't benefit from the fruit the first 3 years. So that morning, Ariel, you want to fix the screen for a second, or maybe the same way you don't benefit from the fruit the first 3 years. But it did. Thank you. But you don't benefit from the fruit the first 3 years. So, I mean, they have a special sense though too. You don't benefit from the here, so to speak. And that's the idea to recognize. It's a symbolism of that. That's one idea. Yeah. Thank you very much.